It's a new dawn for sports development in Nigeria with the fusion of the Mother Ministry and other entities to form the National Sports Commission with a brand new management team. It is with the renewed hope mandate of raising the standard of sports in Nigeria, building an industry that contributes to the nation's economy, as well as serving as a veritable tool for national unity. It may interest you to know that the NSC started in 1962 as National Sports Council, became a commission in 1975 before transforming to what it is today known after periods of scrapping, reinstatement and measure to become the sole body in charge of sports in Nigeria. This is Reshaping Democracy. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. At the helm of affairs in the newly reinvigorated National Sports Commission is a seasoned and well-connected sports administrator, Shehu Dikko. He will be answering citizens' questions on the mandate to take sports to the next level in Nigeria, a key priority area of President Tinubu's administration.
Chairman, sir, what plan do you have to upgrade and develop sport infrastructure across Nigeria, especially the 5 federal government stadia? And how will you ensure that these facilities are accessible and maintained?
Yes, we are not just thinking about the infrastructure belonging to the federal government. We have to think about the infrastructure belonging to all Nigerians. Sport is a national asset. If, for example, now they build a stadium in Osun State, for example, or build a stadium in Ondo State or in Katsina also, that stadium is used by everybody because the stadium hosts national sports. They play National League there, they play everything there. So we are viewing the infrastructure of sports, not just in the context of the 5 stadia of the government, but we have to show the lead. So part of the long-term vision is that we should have at least 6 stadia, 1 in each zone of the country that is fit for purpose. That is with the international requirement that can host the best tournaments. So government at the federal level will make the first step. We need to invest in that as a government to get that working, starting with the MK Abiola Stadium where we are today. We need to get the stadium working, get the infrastructure working. So if that is done, then we can go to the other zones and see what that could be done. Getting the infrastructure to work is not a big deal because once you have the budget, you could do it. But how do you sustain it? How do you ensure that after the next 5, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, we can come back to the same level where everything is not working? So we are working and putting strategies to sustain the infrastructures and the maintenance. That's why in the review of the bill we are working on, we said we're going to create what we call the National Sports Infrastructure Management and Development Board. Development and Management Board. It's not Sports Infrastructure Development and Management Board. It's a body of experts under the commission that will be in charge of driving and enhancing the sports facilities across the country. One, we have to have strategies how to manage the facilities we have, which basically either we concession them, either we bring people to work with them, and then the next step we have to also work with the subnationals and the private sector to encourage them on how to build their infrastructure. So we want to license every sport infrastructure in the country because not just about building the infrastructure. Once you are building it, you need to put strategies how to maintain it, how to manage it. That has to work. So we have all those strategies in play. And then, for example, like where we are today, Abuja Stadium, we have to turn our sporting infrastructure to a sports city. You can't just build a sport infrastructure in isolation. There has to be other value chain attached to it. Is this shops, shopping malls? Is it a hotel if you have the land? Is it other activities that will be generating money 24/7, which is part of the drive we have to do to have a proper sporting infrastructure across the country to do that. So we concession some. We will partner with the private sector to build some. We partner with the subnationals to get some working, but all with the mindset of proper maintenance and sustainability and proper putting to use of those facilities because we have to create the activities also. If you build a stadium, we have to create the activities to jumpstart all sports.
Mr. Chairman, sir, what strategy will you employ to promote grassroots sports development and how will you engage with local communities to encourage participation in sports?
You see, we said we are resetting our own thinking from a competition-driven sport industry to a development-driven industry. So we are actually going back to the development. How do you develop grassroots? You start with the grassroots, you start with the amateur, then you come to the elite. So we have a lot of focus on that. And Mr. President is showing his skin in that game by actually even appointing an SA, special assistant on grassroots sports development. So we are going to do that. And how are we going to do that? We are having a budget line, for example, now in our budget where for talent identification and early development. So with that funding, that's where we will go to the grassroots, identify the talents, the young boys and girls that are good in their various parts of sports, and put them through that system. And then that's why we said we are bringing back seriously the school sports. We are going to interface. In fact, we have a meeting with the Minister of Education, I think, next week also. He's trying to get the school sports back on track. We're going to bring back the Nuga games working also. Because when you identify the child, in a 13-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever, why do you take him to do the sport? It's through the schools. Because you should not compromise the education of a 13-year-old because you want them to go and do sports. They should be doing their sports and stuff like that. So what we are saying here is that we have to have like centers of excellence. For every zone, we should have a university that is working with us. That university will be a center of excellence for sport. We'll try to support them with the infrastructure, with the coaching, with the whatever they need to do, so that there will be a university where if you are good, you can go there. We want to work with the subnationals to have secondary schools as well. In the states, there should be secondary schools that are termed center of excellence. Then we work together, train coaches, bring the infrastructure for the school, for the sports, and stuff like that. Likewise, go to the local government with the primary schools. So if you get a child now very good in sport, you put him in the primary school in the local government. From there, he go to the state secondary school. From there, they go to the universities. All through their sports is being developed, is being tapped, and their talent is being advanced. So with that, the grassroots, there will be a clear pathway and a clear roadmap on how to develop the sport. And on the elite level as well, we are preparing now to start preparing for the next Commonwealth Games, for the next Olympics now. So those funding and those revenues that are coming from the private sector support also will be used to develop the elite people as well on that level of the sport development. So a young child can go through all that process up to the elite stage, and all the supports will be there. That's why even last week, you can see we unveiled the Adopt an Athlete. We reinforce it. It was a program that was started before by our predecessors, but we reinforce it because it's part of the long-term plan. That's for the elite level. But you have to work from the grassroots to get to the elite level to do that. And on that basis, we are also sitting on what we call Elite Athlete Development and Podium Committee. Their job is to focus on the elite athletes, support them, get them working, and get them prepared with the ambition to finish at the podium as a level. So all that is being put in play and will come together at the end of the day.
How is sport development is going to be more effective in terms of preparation for international tournaments, Olympics, preparation ahead of time, proper development for the federation, who are the key apparatus when it has to be a representative at international tournaments.
International bodies is a process. The reason why we said we want to partner with all the sport federation are partners in progress. We are not here to destabilize any sport federation because you cannot be elected, for example, president of the sport federation today, but the next day you are in the international body. It's normally a process. Until you are on the system, you are in the loop, you build proper understanding and contact within the system before you go to the international body. So part of our vision or objective is to support anybody within our system who is capable and competent to contest and to be involved in the international sport federation of his particular sport. We support them to get them there because we need Nigerians across all sport playing the politics of sports across their sport together. Because with that, we could get the right grants, the right support, the right opportunities for training for our people here. And we are working very, very closely with the NOC, the Nigerian Olympic Committee, on this aspect because they are the overall coordinator of all the sporting federation national bodies. So we will do that. We will support all of them. And we'll bring we are talking to a lot of partners as part of the business wise of sports internationally to come on board. Just before you come in, we are just off a Zoom meeting, for example, with one of the top groups in the world who are coordinating and building sports cities across the world with the FIFA involved, because we want them to come and partner with us, for example, to see how we can get the Abuja Stadium to be turned into a sports city. It's a group that already have the hotels there, they have the shopping mall there, they have the financing there. Even the African Development Bank, Afrexim, AFC are all part of that group. They're all supporting them if they get the right project with the funding. So we are bringing them here to see what we can do. We need to turn this, like for example, Abuja Stadium to a sports city, proper sports city with the hotels, with the shopping mall, with the sports centers, with everything that's supposed to be there, the restaurant and stuff like that. If this one works, then we can go to other stadia across the country because we have the land available to get that done. All the stadia we have in Nigeria have big ones, have land available that you can turn to a proper sports city.
Good day, Mr. Chairman, sir. Well, my question is this. We all know that sports at that peak level is not possible without the proper training facilities and equipment. How do we, or are there any plans in place to get the right training facilities and apex sport equipment to make sure that we are building the best talents in the country that can compete with their counterparts abroad?
That is for training the athletes on the physical level, yes, of course. Part of the vision is to have not just internationally aligned infrastructure of sports development. No, the next level is also we should have mini sports centers across the country. And that is not just the job of the federal government, the job of everybody. That's the reason why we are having the Sport Infrastructure Development and Management Agency. They're supposed to go and engineer this development, partner with the state government, partner with the local government, partner with the private sector to get sport infrastructure proper ones being created across the country. We will do our own part as well. To be honest, every community needs to have a small sports facility around it, so that you can provide the enablers for the young kids and sportsmen to do something with the sport facilities. So it's part of the long-term vision. But even as at 2025, we will start with some. There are already some that are working, that are already being built already, but they are probably not being built the right way. Because what we observed, the sports centers that are being built before, because they are being used as what they call consultancy projects most times, they don't take cognizance of where they are setting them up. Somebody will go and take a land outside the city and build a sport facility. Who will go there? Who has the money from the city center to take a cab to go and train and come back every day? Nobody will use it. So you're actually building in the bush. So it's better you go to the cities where there's cluster of people and look at the sporting infrastructure. Even if it's a school that have a land, build a sporting facility there for them where the kids can just walk in there and use it. So we are trying to change that system as part of the resetting we are doing. Because anywhere you are building a community sports center, has to be where there's a cluster of people that are there. Don't go and build it outside the city because that's where you have available land. No, adopt a land within the city. Is it a school? Is it a private land? Negotiate with them. Make it look good and professional to host the sport facility there. Because if you are building it for the community. It's not for anybody's ownership, for the community. And the ones we have, I think the Sport Commission have over 80 sporting infrastructure all over the country.
How do you intend to promote advocacy and awareness for sport development in Nigeria?
What we are doing now at this moment, the interview, is part of the advocacy, because we are creating awareness that there's something happening, there's a possibility there. And of course, our media team, our people are all going to be involved to create more awareness for people what to do the right thing. But of course, we said we are going to now reinforce our zonal offices, because our zonal offices need to be active. It's at that level because they are the ones that are actually supposed to be doing the work down the ladder. So all the zonal offices of the Sport Commission has to be really funded, really supported to create all the necessary structures there, the competitions, the awareness, the whatever, what have you, to get people working. And likewise, we have to also reinforce the state offices also, working with the subnationals. The state offices too should be working. Because if you are not creating, but all this is a function of funding. Without necessary funding, you can't just do much. That's why also part of our focus is to see how we can create a sustainable funding structure for sports. So we are working on that. Once that flow of revenue and funding is there, you can now put it down the ladder to create the awareness people to do it. And so long we are building the facilities. Most people want to do the sport activities, but they can't see the facility to do it. So if you now create a process where you engender the development of the facilities across board level, there's no way you can wake up and you see a sport facility near you and you just ignore it. Even your doctors will tell you, you can go and run in the morning, in the night and stuff like that. So all that needs to be done, and we are even working to declare one day, they are working with the FEC, I think, our people here, to declare one day in Nigeria that should be a sports day. So that actually put the sport in the front burner. Everybody would think that if that day the president approved, for example, there's a particular day, that is maybe in the future can even be a public holiday, who knows? That can say this day is a sports day. So everybody will be aware sports is really necessary, not just for being professional, but for your health and for your whole well-being to do it. So all that awareness will be in play at that level.
Mr. Chairman, sir, over the years there's been a clamor for a technocrat to lead sports in Nigeria, and now that Mr. President has finally heeded that call and appointed you as a technocrat to lead the commission, what change should Nigerians expect for sports in Nigeria?
The change is already evident. Abi, that's why you are here, because as we said now, we are. You can see all the direction we are going. Both myself, my DG, my staff, the commission staff, everybody now have a change of mindset. Now we know we are moving from. Everybody have agreed that we are moving from the consumption-driven sports ecosystem, which is just waiting to go and play the competition and come back and sit for the next competition again, to a development-driven sport ecosystem, which is basically the production. So which means we are going to develop to the next level. That's why now we can see we are bringing in more policies, more activities. Even if you look at probably the budget presentation that will be done by Mr. President for 2025 budget, if you see the line items within the sports budget, you know that there is a clear departure from the past, what we are thinking. The budget is more focused on development and creating the sports economy, putting the strategies. We have what we call the renewed hope initiative for Nigerian sports economy, which is the new project Mr. President is going to launch, because we are gearing back to creating a sports economy where we can be measuring our sports, not just in the competitions we play. No, how many people are being employed? What are you contributing to the GDP? What is the competitions that we are holding? And you can say we have already given a marching order to our federations that look, no federations will be allowed to be traveling for foreign competitions without showing us they are having a proper developmental plan. So the federations are going to be measured at how many domestic competitions you are organizing, you are having. And on that basis too, we have created a procedure where we can help them to create those competitions. So we are having like a budget provisions whereby we have monies to buy content from the sport federation. So I can go to like basketball, for example, and say, okay, this is money here, organize a basketball competition for us. So we have already funded them. With that money, they will pay the players to organize the competition. And we are also having money to set up our own media team and infrastructure team. That infrastructure team will cover those competitions and produce it. So we have the content. With that content, our own marketing team, who are the marketing agency we are setting up, will have content to now monetize. They can come to NTA, they can go to other networks and say, look, we have this content. Pay for it, to show it. NTA, because they are not spending money in production, they will have money to pay for it. If you pay for it, then we have covered our resources. Then you as NTA also will show it. You get more viewers to your network, and also you will get the advertising revenue. So the whole cycle have come to play. So everything have been put where it's supposed to play. So we are using the revenue, the money we have here, to engender the sports activities in the country, because we are paying the federations to do the sports activities. We are taking the content. We have the capacity and infrastructure now, the money we are putting together to monetize, to create the content. Then we sell the content to the right people. We also will go to get the advertising. And already that's why we're talking about legislation. We have the NBC code, which to be honored, to be, I cannot say, I don't want to be this. I was part of the people 2017, 2019 that developed that NBC code for sports that says that you cannot, no network is allowed to show foreign content of sport without showing the domestic content. So you are obliged to show, once you have the content, you must show. And also, the code says no advertiser can advertise during the broadcast of foreign content without advertising during the domestic sport as well. So we have got to do the work we have got to do to show the content. We have also locked in the revenues for you. So our job is to produce the content.
Mr. Chairman, sir, we saw your meeting with the president. Can you tell us part of your discussion, particularly on Super Eagles coach and 2026 FIFA World Cup, sir?
The Sport Commission, as you know, that's the reason why we have the commission. The commission sits and reports to the table of Mr. President. So our meeting will be much regular because he needs to be briefed and needs to be updated on what is happening and therefore advised, and he can now decide to take the right steps to advance the process of what we are doing. Yes, the meeting discussed a lot of things as well, the sports economy, the process, the legislation we want to put in place, and of course, there's a conversation about the World Cup. What do you need to do? You know, we are lagging behind on the qualifying table. What support the government? The government can only give support and provide the enablers, and the rest will be left to the players. So we are trying to make sure that all the mitigating issues and all the issues that is on the table of the government are cleared. For example, we have when the boys won the AFCON, they came second, the last AFCON. They were promised houses and land. So we need to get that done quickly so that all that are out of the way, so that the boys will be motivated. We need to also put the right resources, both from the government and the private sector, to support the logistics and the plan, so that when the boys come in, there is no issue anywhere. They travel in comfort. They stay in the best hotels. They get the best. Bonuses and arrangement. Everything is apt. So we put everything squarely back to them, and with that, I'm sure they will give everything to make sure they qualify to the World Cup and mobilize support as well. You can't just play the ball without the fans. So mobilize the fans that will support the team, both at the matches here and also the matches away to do that. And of course, as there is the conversation, the commission, the NFF are working to see how they can get the proper technical team behind the team, so that they can, by the time they come in March, everything is set.
Putting a square peg in a square hole is exactly what played out as the new NSC management hits the ground running. Nigerians will look forward to the formulation, implementation of policies, monitoring and executing programs that will promote sustainable sports development in the sports-loving nation. I'll see you same time next week. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. Bye-bye.